Hello, my name is Nika, and if you've not seen my previous study abroad vlogs, this video is going to lack some serious context. You don't have to watch them, you just have to know they exist. Know that I did study abroad, and if you are wondering why you haven't seen any vlogs in many months, this video will be your explanation. Please excuse me in my natural habitat. Very relaxed. I'm technically studying for exams, but I guess I'm not anymore because I'm doing this. But I think it's time for me to kind of share my experience. When I embarked on this journey and started vlogging my studying abroad, my international student experience, I always wanted to be really honest with it, but there came a point where there were certain things that I just didn't want to share or didn't think people would want to see or couldn't share, couldn't bring myself to even fully admit. And that was that it was not an entirely good experience. And that's what I'm going to be telling you about today. So I'm going to play some clips that I actually did record while I was still in France. There are actually many of them that are just more whiny and sad that I didn't want to include in the vlogs because I was like, nobody is gonna want to just watch you complain, you know? You're so privileged to be in this situation. You're so lucky to be in France. This is what everybody wants, you know? So I didn't include them. I might have included maybe one bad clip when I got locked out of my apartment, but I don't even remember. But yeah, you'll see those in a moment. But essentially, it was very hard. The first month or so was great. You know, I was still kind of high on excitement and, you know, I had so much to explore. I enjoyed settling into this new country. I do have quite a sense for adventure, so, you know, I was always really looking forward to that, cultural experience and just the whole journey of it. But what I realized is once that excitement factor kind of wears off and you're like, oh, okay, this is just my life now, it's definitely not what people portray it to be on social media. At least for me, it wasn't. Even on my social media, I think it definitely makes it look like it was fantastic all the time, which it was not. And this is nothing against France. I love France. I love the architecture. I love traveling, but when you're an international student, you're not traveling all the time. At least I certainly was not. Maybe if you're doing a 6-month exchange or something, you are, but that's not what my experience was. I'd say 12 hours a day, pretty much. At least on weekdays, I was either in class or studying for the most part. Maybe not a full 12 hours, maybe 10 to 12. But yeah, so that left some weekends to go do a day trip. And then, you know, we had a 1-week break that I could do a trip. And so I did get to travel, but most of the time you're just studying. And it's just normal life, but you're in a different country. And I think that's what people don't show. Your life does not miraculously change when you move somewhere else. You can't run away from your problems by going overseas because they will follow you and you'll just be left without support. So that's what I encountered. I've struggled with mental health for a long time, but at the point that I went, I was doing okay, you know? I was managing. I definitely wasn't thriving, but I thought that this would help me thrive. And the first few weeks, it definitely felt like that. It felt like I just felt happy all the time and excited all the time because I was in this new experience. But like I said, once that excitement wears off, you don't have that anymore. And I soon found that I was extremely lonely, and there were some things that I was struggling with that I couldn't manage on my own at the time. I needed a support system, and I didn't have that. I made a few friends, and I could tell them about that, you know, by the end. But for most of the time there, I really felt like I was completely alone in the world. I guess this wouldn't be a problem for everyone. I think this says a lot more about me than it does about the experience of studying abroad, but I do think this is something that a lot of people encounter and don't talk about. The second issue I encountered was my living situation. I was trying to save as much money as possible obviously. Like, studying abroad is already a big expense because you pay international student fees. I decided it was worth it for the experience, but it's definitely something that I'm very lucky to be able to do and to have some scholarships to put towards, but I think a lot of people, most people aren't able to do that. So I was trying to cut corners wherever I could. I did not want to put my heater on because I didn't want to spend money. So I put it on for like an hour a day because the heating prices are astronomical in Europe at the moment. So I was basically cold all the time. Like I never warmed up. And so I would have like layers and layers of pants on and like layers of jackets. Literally when I was like sleeping, I would have to put the blanket over my head. Otherwise the cold air would like make my face like so cold that I couldn't sleep. Looking back, it's stupid. I should have just put the heater on and like been less stingy, but I was really in a scarcity mindset of like wanting to save as much money as possible, which isn't a bad thing, of course, except if it goes to the extreme where you're actually like negatively impacting your health, which I did. I was sick all the time in the winter. Like literally, I was sick for like more than a month straight, which is very unlike me because I have quite a good immune system. And then also like not meeting nutritional needs. I think part of it was just like living alone. I wanted to micromanage my own life to a point that was not healthy. And of course that could happen anywhere. But I do think the fact that I was studying abroad so far away from any sort of family or support system or community, I think that definitely contributed to me messing up my own life. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's basically it. Loneliness, not meeting my own needs, not having really time to explore and go all these amazing places like people seem to when they do study abroad. And of course, I did go some cool places and I posted those on my Instagram. So if you've seen that, you're probably like, what are you talking about? You went tons of places. But that was like less than 1% of the time. And I feel like people are just lying. Literally, there are people I follow right now that are studying abroad and they are like, every day they're in a new city. And I don't understand how this is working. Like, do you actually go to school? And of course, I think this is just part of my program as well because it is so academically rigorous. Oh, well, I haven't even explained. I came back to Canada. I came back home. I literally left halfway through the year after the first semester. And this decision took me 2 months to make. I started feeling this way in November. And by the time I decided for sure I was staying, it was like January. But I think I made the right decision. I know I made the right decision. I am so much happier and healthier. Like, I look back at the videos and like, I mean, first of all, I look a little different. And then also I just seem miserable because I was. And like, there's no spark in my eyes. Maybe there's no spark in my eyes right now because I'm kind of tired from studying. But I definitely feel like I have more of a spark in me. Yeah, so I'm back. I didn't quit university. I just switched to UBC, the Okanagan campus, because that's near where I live. It's nothing against Sciences Po. I know it's an amazing school. I know it gets amazing ratings. I don't know, this whole like prestige thing, it doesn't really matter. I'd rather be at a less prestigious school, spend way less money on school, have community surrounding me that I love, be able to do the things that I love, like music and arts, which I had no opportunities for in France. And literally those are my lifeblood things. So I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, be able to do the things I love and just be so much happier than be at a fancy prestigious school that I think will impress people. I'm sure many people have had amazing experiences. And once again, I don't want to complain about this because this was such an amazing opportunity. I just want to make it clear that, like, just because something seems amazing on social media or just because something is prestigious or sounds fancy doesn't necessarily mean it's worthwhile, doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing for you. Yeah, okay, I've talked enough. You can see the videos now. Hello. I'm at my friend's apartment building in the student lounge because I just needed to get out of my apartment. I don't know, lately I've just really kind of wanted to leave. Like, I really want to go home. I don't know if it's just the novelty of being in France has worn off. I'm just bored. Like, I have lots of studying to do. It's not like I'm bored because I have nothing to do. I'm just bored because I feel like lonely. Like, I have like one friend and then a few semi-friends. So I miss my friends and I miss my family and I miss Canada. Like, I mean, obviously it's home. I felt like someone was listening. And so I'm studying for exams. I'm not even stressed at this point. I just want to finish it so I can go home for Christmas. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm filming again. This is just me being sad, as usual. I really struggle to feel like my life has meaning. I think that's just a human condition. But, I miss high school. Because in high school, I could be the top student. I could be the lead in the high school play. I could be something impressive. And people could compliment my maturity and my intelligence and my talent. And now it just feels like there's nothing left. Because I'm surrounded by prodigies and people that are more smart than I could ever be. People that are more impressive than I could ever be. More mature than I could ever be. More talented than I could ever be. And I know that I don't have to be number one at anything to be something. But it doesn't change that I feel like I don't know who I am. Or I know who I am, but all the things that make me me are sitting on a different continent. And I don't know what matters. Does it matter that I'm at a prestigious school? Does it matter that I'm taking the leap and living on my own and being independent? And does it matter if that impresses people? Because it doesn't feel like it matters. All I want is to be home. All I want is to sing and to act and to paint and to be with my family and my friends and to feel like myself again. That's enough of that. That's enough of that.